Okay, setting a proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. The first, refuge field. Visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and your own teachers. And when you visualize them, the point is how to visualize them. Visualize them as very loving, caring, embracing. And visualize the Bodhicitta field. Visualize your 2 grandparents, all your children, and all your family members, and all the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, all the spirits, in short, all the sentient beings in this universe around you. And how you visualize them. You are very loving, caring, and embracing to each of the sentient beings. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken this perfect seed, the perfect seed of Buddha nature that exists within you. It is like gold mixed with the mud. Though the nature of the gold is to glow, but with the mud it does not glow. It doesn't mean that the gold is not there. It is to indicate the need for us to remove the mud. How to remove the mud? It is through the practice of the wisdom of emptiness as the actual remedy or the liberating path, and that to be driven by the force of bodhicitta, unconditional love and altruism for all the beings. And this bodhicitta must be supported by renunciation, the desire to get away from samsara altogether. Okay, with this in mind, let us turn to page 3. And as we recite the lines, let us make it a point that we remember the meaning of the words, meaning of the verses, and that whatever experience that you have, experience be invoked. These 2 must be happening. If these happen, you see that the growth of your spiritual journey is very evident in the years to come. Whereas if that doesn't happen, then no matter how much you recite the verses every day for 3 hours, 4 hours, yes, the benefit is there, but the benefit is so less that you don't see any spiritual development within you. And you may feel yourself just the same person, having wasted all these many years. And imagine that you are leading this recitation, this meditation, and all beings are happily joining you. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje joda zoge jonam na janjo bardo dane yazo che dage jinso yebe sonam ye dola benjer sanje dubare sho. Sanje joda zoge jonam na janjo bardo dane yazo che dage jinso yebe sonam ye dola benjer sanje dubare sho. Sanje joda zoge jonam na janjo bardo dane yazo che dage jinso yebe sonam ye dola benjer sanje dubare sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths cause those helping migrators achieve the same this world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subdue a expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teachers who guard and protect her to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence I gender the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. And those who came yesterday, I suggest you, if possible, to listen to the recording of the yesterday's morning session, where I explained this Yedharma mantra, the meaning of the Yedharma mantra. This is so important. And every time you recite it, try to recall the meaning of this verse, so the benefit is going to be much more. Om Yedharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Yedharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Yedharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Meaning of the mantra: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well as taught by the great seer. The next verse, profound, peaceful, elaborate. This verse was said by the Buddha when Buddha remained silent for 49 days after becoming enlightened under the Bodhi tree, and the kings of the celestial beings, or the god and goddesses, Indra and Brahma, two of them, and through their clairvoyance, they would see that on the planet Earth, the Prince Siddhartha became Buddha. And the purpose for somebody to become Buddha is to help the sentient beings by sharing their wisdom, by teaching the wisdom to the beings. And the two of them realized that the Buddha was not the teaching the wisdom to the beings, not giving teachings. Instead, the Buddha just remained silent in meditation under the Bodhi tree. Then Indra and Brahma, the two kings of the god and goddesses, they descended, and they made prostrations to the Buddha and requested the Buddha, please don't remain silent, please turn the wheel of the Dharma. Then the Buddha uttered this verse, that the path that I found, the truth that I found is so profound that I don't see anybody around me who can understand, who can fathom this teaching. So better it is for me to remain in silence in the wilderness. So this is what the Buddha he said. Then the Indra and Brahma, and the Brahma offered the Dharma wheel. Indra offered the conch, Dharma conch, indicating to please blow the conch of the Dharma to liberate the beings. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma to liberate the beings. So this was more a request were made. And then the Buddha headed towards the Varanasi, and then he turned the first wheel of Dharma, and followed by in Rajgir the second turn of wheel of Dharma, and then in Vaishali the third turn of wheel of Dharma. So this is how all these three turns of wheel of Dharma happened at the request of Indra and Brahma, the kings of the celestial beings. So this verse is just to indicate how profound it is to understand the wisdom of emptiness. So it's all about the wisdom of emptiness. So the last few days we've been discussing about how important it is to have the wisdom of emptiness. Finally, what truly liberates us. And whether you like it or not, whether you're Buddhist or non-Buddhist, whether male or female, it doesn't matter. Whether you're French or non-French, it doesn't matter. If you want to get rid of your hunger, you have to eat food. If you want to remove the suffering of yourself and the beings, you have to realize emptiness. Without this, there's no second option. There's no exception. So this is the meaning here. And it's not that easy. Because it's not easy, the Buddha remained silent for 49 days. And this teaching meaning the teaching of wisdom of emptiness must given so much respect. Your practice of wisdom of emptiness, the books on wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, must be treated with so much reverence, because it is only through this that you can possibly expect to imbibe these qualities. You can learn something, you can reflect on this, and eventually meditate on this. Okay, with this mind, let us say this. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression. Okay, so this verse is very important. This verse is very important. The next one. This is actually this is known as the verse of the Prajna Paramita, verse of the professional wisdom. And how it came into being, it said that I saw a sutra where it said that this is actually uttered by the Arhat Rahul, who was the son of the Buddha Shakyamuni. And he said this for his mother, who passed away when he was just 7 days old. So he, of course, later he became an arhat, and that the tradition of the Tibetan Buddhism, the ground of the Tibetan Buddhism, which is known as Mula Sarvastivada, ground of the Chinese Buddhism, is known as the Dharmakutta tradition, and the other ground is Theravada tradition. So we have these three traditions: Theravada tradition, Dharmakutta tradition, which is the ground for Chinese Buddhism; Mula Sarvastivada Buddhism, which is Tibetan Buddhism, the ground is Mula Sarvastivada, and on top of this, then the Mahayana, Tantrayana, all these are added. So for this, the ground, all the monastic rules, regulations, the basic teaching of how to be liberated from samsara. So this teaching, for this tradition, Tibetan tradition, it all came from Rahul, the Buddha's son. He was the main abbot. This is our tradition. So our ancestor, we can track this Tibetan tradition, the foundation, which is Mula Sarvastivada. So the bodhicitta, then the tantra, they're all added on top of that foundation. That foundation for us, Tibetan Buddhism foundation is Mula Sarvastivada. And the root, the ultimate teacher next to the Buddha, was the Buddha's own son, Rahula. Arhat Rahula, Abbot Rahula. We have to refer to him as Abbot Rahula, because he was the first one to disseminate this tradition, Madhusarvasti Father. Okay, so he said this. He said this for his mother who passed away when he was just 7 days old. Okay, let's see this together. This is about emptiness. Again, it's about emptiness. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has a nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of the obeisance. 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching this truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Okay, seems like you have all the handouts, so maybe it needs stapling. Okay, what do you do with that? After this, let's do stapling. Otherwise, it's just waste of time. People don't find it, and then the whole time it goes like this. So we'll do the sapling after doing the what? Yes. So Ginzala. Okay, others, if they are not stippled, I would suggest that you stipple them after this morning session. In fact, Venerable Ginzala is the one who told me that it is wiser to waste 2 minutes than to waste half an hour. This is what he told me. Venerable Ginzala, he told me 2 days ago, right? Yeah. So that is waste 2 minutes of 4 minutes instead of wasting the next 10 days. Yeah. Okay. We're done? Huh? Okay. No, 4 seasons. The Buddha does not. Okay. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Instruction on parting from the 4 attachments. If you attach to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you attach to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you attach to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14 in English. Page 14. Praise to the Buddha Shakyamuni Buddha. And here, what is important is that the others, you already know this, for others who came yesterday, when we recite this, praise to the Buddha Shakyamuni, it is not that we praise the Buddha so the Buddha will be very happy and you'll be blessed. This is not a connotation. We praise the Buddha in ways related to his qualities, identifying his qualities. So the purpose is to see if you have some of these qualities. If you do have, rejoice in this, and then see how to nurture them further. If you don't have, but still you do have the seeds of these qualities, the seeds are there within us. So our job is germinate them and nurture them. So this should be the inspiration that we should be drawing from reading these praises to the Buddha Shakyamuni. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the 4 destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct. Sugata, know the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace our sense strides, then set them supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the three worlds, will of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Lustful like you, the three worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies the prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Our Heart Sutra, page 29. Yesterday I did explain the Heart Sutra. For today still we see that there are more people who came. I'm going to quickly give the review what we did yesterday. On the Heart Sutra, it was taught, of course, in the vulture speak, as we can see here. The background is given here, and the Buddha remained in meditative posture. And when you become a Buddha, anybody who becomes a Buddha or who is a Buddha has the capacity to see the two worlds, world of ultimate reality and the world of conventional reality, directly, simultaneously and directly. So there, the Buddha was absorbed in meditative concentration on the emptiness, which is known as a profound illumination. Also, he has access to the whole world, every atom of the universe simultaneously. So there, superficially from the point of view of us, we see the Buddha just about in the meditative state. And of course, he is in meditative state. So meanwhile, because being fully enlightened, no obscuration, no cognitive obscurations, no afflictive obscurations, Buddha has access to all the phenomena simultaneously. Ultimate truth, conventional truth. So, on the conventional level, Buddha then, the blessed Shariputra, inspired him, blessed him to ask question to Avalokiteshvara. So, while the Buddha was immersed in the meditative state, telepathically inspiring Shariputra, who then stood up to make prostration to Buddha and turned to Avalokiteshvara to ask question. So, what question was asked? This is one thing which we should not miss. What question was asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? Number two, what response Avalokiteshvara gave to Shariputra? Number two, that should not be missed. Number three, what's the benefit if you practice as taught by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? What benefit we get? These are three main points that we should remember as we recite the Heart Sutra. So the question asked by Shariputra is, how should the child of a lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? Child of a lineage means anybody, the lineage of the Buddhas. Anybody who wants to become a Buddha, you become the child of a lineage, of this lineage. And if you feel that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, you become the child of a lineage. And as the child of a lineage, you made a commitment, may I become Buddha. How to become Buddha? Practice the perfection of wisdom. So look, these are all the said by the Shariputra, and the Avalokiteshvara explained in great detail, and the Buddha endorse this. So we can't do away with the wisdom of emptiness in the pretext, in the facade of doing something else. Oh, we have this practice, what is this study? Some people say like this. It's very misleading, very unfortunate. So we should make sure that in this life, even though you may think that I'm not good in studies, I'm not good intellectually, even though you may think like this, but don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate yourself, and just put effort in this, and believe it or not, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years time, you'll see that what you have become is very different from what you were before. So you have the Buddha nature. Everybody has the Buddha nature. So you have to put effort in this. This is the only way, whether you like it or not, this is the only way by which to be liberated, to attain nirvana, to attain Buddhahood. So while this is the liberating path, we do need the other factors. It's not this only way. For example, the spaghetti, you have to eat something. This is the only way. Then you keep eating spaghetti. No, you have to eat other things also. The other things to make this spaghetti, pasta, whatever, it works so well. So the wisdom of emptiness is the only liberating path. Yet other factors like make offerings, make prostrations, offering lights, being kind with others, meditating 4 seals, bodhicitta, and all these things are required. Okay, so this is the question asked by Shariputra. Then Avalokiteshvara responded. How to practice the wisdom, perfection wisdom, by going to detail to teach what emptiness is, how to see everything like a dream. This is what taught. Then number 3, what's the benefit for us to engage in the practice of wisdom and emptiness as taught by Avalokiteshvara? The benefit is that all your fears will dissolve, all your miseries will dissolve, your happiness will expand infinitely. And the Avalokiteshvara concluded by saying that this is the only gateway through which all the Buddhas went to become enlightened. This is the only gateway. So be it each one of us to be the future Buddhas, we also have to enter this gateway. The present Buddhas, they entered this gateway, and the past Buddhas, they entered. This is the only gateway for somebody to become Buddha. Yet the other factors are required, of course. And then finally, the Buddha endorsed, yes, what Avalokiteshvara, you said, you taught, is perfectly the right thing. This is what the Buddha endorsed. Okay, we recite it together. And this is so precious. Imagine that we are all there in Vulture's Peak, where the Buddha actually taught this, and we're reciting this. And in fact, for the bodhicitta retreats we do almost regularly, except for the last two the COVID years. We've been doing this bodhicitta retreat in the Root Institute, where we actually go to the Vulture's Peak, where this Heart Sutra was taught, and we recite this. We take the experience of Bodhisattva out there. So that happens every year. So this year mostly it happens in the month of November. So this, I think it is happening in November. Root Institute, again FPMT Center in Bodh Gaya. Okay, so imagine that you are there in the Rajgir, the Vulture's Peak, and the Buddha Avalokiteshvara, then the Buddha Shakyamuni, his own Dalai Lama, Avalokiteshvara, Shariputra, they were all there in front of you, and that your parents, your children, and all the dear mother sentient beings are there with you. And imagine that you are, leading this, and everybody is the joining you happily. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on the master of Vulture's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness is empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, without unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifest a complete awakening to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. Then the mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Tyatha Om Gade Gade Bara Samgade Bodhi Soham. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose in that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you've indicated, even that the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, alone with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhiswaha. By the teaching of the three supreme jewels possessing part of the truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all the enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, page 35, 8 verses of mind training. With the determination to achieve their highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind, that as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jeweled treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer the benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and the pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the eight mundane concerns, and may, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds miss from eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, next 7 puja. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past and future, in the world of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech and sincere mind, I bow down, with the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms in the world. To all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particles are Buddhas numberless as atoms. Each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspect of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sagadas. Beautiful flowers and regal gardens, sweet music, scented walls and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense I offer to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array are offered to you victorious ones. With transcendental offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all the victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger and confusion, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening. All you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all the wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostration, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all Buddhas, all beings. Our model offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents and the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajimbe Ge Jojimendo Tam Re The four Dhammas of Venerable Karmapa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality to bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Radnam Lagam Nerate Amen. The foundation of all good qualities. This is roadmap for us. This is so important. If you cannot do so much reading, recitation, so forth, at least we should make it a point to recite this, but reflect on meanings. This will be very comprehensive in ways of setting a mind to follow the path of enlightenment on a daily basis. By Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of the teachings, keeping the Pratimoksha vows, please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this trained in Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified part of the karma abiding special inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of these two stages, essence Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities, the stages and the paths, may could attain the state of Vajradhara. The maximum mantra, first we'll recite the English and then the Tibetan. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without conception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages, land of the snows, those on top of feed and make prostrations. Okay, now generating the mind of consummate yoga, the 4 practices. Now, first one is single pointed meditation. Number 2 is renunciation on the basis of 4 seals. Number 3 is bodhicitta on the basis of 4 immeasurables. Then the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, the first one for single point meditation, since there are some of you who are new today, I'm going to quickly explain what we did the last 2 days for single point meditation. Meditation, there are 2 kinds. One is a single point meditation, and the other one is analytical meditation. Technically, single point meditation is known as shamatha meditation. And the analytical meditation is referred to as the vipassana meditation or special insight meditation. But let us not mix up the 2 things. The vipassana in the context of the Nalanda tradition and the vipassana in the context of the Theravada tradition, these 2 are slightly different. And it's not that one is better than the other. It's the same vipassana in the context of Theravada. This is more what you see as shamatha in the mainstream Nalanda tradition. There's no contradiction. Only thing is that they may overlap. And for the The Vipassana in the Nalanda tradition, in order not to confuse these two traditions of the meditation, I deliberately don't use the word Vipassana. In Tibetan it is Laktong. Laktong is Vipassana. But I use the word English, simply use the English word, special insight. Not to confuse people, because this Vipassana is considered very important. And then in the Theravada tradition, what they call as Vipassana is day one you practice meditation, this is what they call as Vipassana practice. So it's the overlapping of the two traditions. It's not like totally square, but they overlap, they do differ. And there's no contradiction at all. And what is known as the Vipassana meditation in Theravada tradition, even that is extremely good practice. It's not that is inferior, what we are doing superior. No. Other ones also very good, extremely good practice. And for, say, if you look at of the 6 perfections, the 5th one, which is the meditation, meditative concentration, the perfection meditative concentration. So for this, if you are very successful in the Vipassana practice as now taught in the Theravada tradition, that's perfect. That's it. You don't require something additional from the Mahayana tradition. This is the same thing. So the point is that it's not about the superiority of one tradition over the other, but we have to make the difference. For example, say the president in America and president in my institute, they bear the same label, but the meaning is very different. One is the head of the whole state, whole country, whereas the president of my institute, it is just the president of the small institute. It's not the president of the whole state. So although both bear the same label, president, but the meaning is very different. So this is what we need to know. It doesn't mean that these contradict. They are contradictory. They harm each other. No, they're complementary. Okay. So with this in mind, for this single point meditation is referred to as shamatha meditation, and the analytical meditation is known as the special insight meditation or the Vipassana meditation. Why do we need these two meditations? This next question. That oftentimes nowadays, wherever in the world, America, in Europe, in India, wherever, there's this, the popularity of the mindfulness meditation, mindfulness-based meditation. Everybody's talking. Meditation means mindfulness. Okay, this way we are so limited. We are so narrow in our thinking. It's just one part of the meditation. It's not the full story. For the full story, we have 2 kinds of meditation: single point meditation and the analytical meditation. So analytical meditation is extremely, extremely important. In fact, it is like, say, you make from a clay, you make a pot. So making a pot is analytical meditation. Once you make the pot should be made strong. How to make strong? By subjecting it to fire and make it strong. So likewise, so the analytical meditation is the one which actually transforms you. The potter, transforms this clay to give the shape of the pot. So this transformation is done by the potter, not by the fire. So once the shape is given, new shape is given, then it should be stabilized. For that matter, you expose this to fire to make it strong. Likewise, the real transformation takes place through analytical meditation, such as meditation on the 4 seals, meditation on the bodhicitta, meditation wisdom and emptiness. These will bring about a real transformation in your mind. So then alongside, this transformation must be very stable. That stability is given by this single point of meditation. For example, let's say that in dark, I want to read the book. We want to read the book. We can't read the book. What do we need? We need light. So say you light a candle, and if the candlelight is extremely feeble, extremely faint, it doesn't help you to read the books. So we need a very bright light. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Yes, this because of this that we changed the whole bulbs. All these bulbs were changed, right? Who was that? Eva? Who bought this? Evelyn, right? And Venerable, I asked Venerable also, I asked them to change all the bulbs because the light was so faint. So it doesn't help us to read books. So we need a bright light, number one. So the flame must be very bright. At the same time, even though the flame is so bright, from the corner of the room, if there's a wind blowing, the flame flickers. Flame is not steady. The flame flickers. If it flickers, again, it strains your eyes. You can read the books. So what do we need? We need to have the light very steady and stable, that it should not move by the wind. Likewise, the mind which brings about transformation in you, finally which liberates you, that is the wisdom of emptiness, the light of the wisdom of emptiness. This light of the wisdom of emptiness should have two qualities. One is that it should be so bright that it should see the emptiness, the reality so clearly, number one. Number two, that it must be very steady. It must be very firm and steady. That steadiness is given by the single-pointed meditation. So what we're doing here is a single-pointed meditation, also referred to as the shamatha meditation. For that, 4 points to keep in mind. One is the body posture. Number two is the focal point. What are you going to meditate on? Number three is identifying the errors of meditation, what mistakes we can make when we meditate. Number four, applying the remedies to overcome the errors of the 4 points. The first, the body posture. For the body posture, this is also known as the Vairochana's seven positions or 7 postures. In simple terms, cross-legged position. This is very important, particularly for people who are doing long-term the meditation. Every day, if you do meditation, then sitting cross-legged is very important. But if you do have knee problem or backache problem, then don't force yourself. Finally, it is your mind which is meditating, not your body. So you can sit in a chair, but not on too soft the cushion. The cushion should not be too soft. It should not be too hard. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for His Holiness, say wherever His Holiness sits, particularly those which His Holiness is extremely adjusting. So wherever he travels, he goes, then something is wrong there. He deliberately avoid to create problems to the people there. He would just say, okay, it's fine. But in his house, the residents, his staff, they know what exactly His Holiness wants. He was very particular with the cushion. Not soft, not too soft, not too hard. It's just ideal for the meditation. This is what His Holiness is. And His Holiness is so meticulous. One day, His Holiness was like touching the table, and I thought that he wants the table closer to him. I pushed it closer to him. He said, no. And what he was doing was actually he was fixing the tablecloth to make it very straight. Wow, it's amazing. So meticulous, extremely meticulous. But when it comes to somebody else, he would say that he would ask the secretary not to bother the people there, not to create any problem on to the people. Okay, so the sitting cross-legged, cushion-wise, not too soft, not too hard, and not too small. It should be a little wide, particularly if you are sitting for meditation daily basis. That's very important. Then the backbone upright. This is so important. Unless you have a backache problem, backbone upright. This is so important. And don't lean against the support, right? Even if you are there, let's say that next to the wall or chair, don't lean against the support. That's very important. Over time, you will see difference. The moment your body leans against the support, instantly your mind will become weak. Weak meaning that the steadiness disappears. You could feel it. So your body must be upright. It makes a huge difference. Later on, when you really become the Mahasiddhis, meaning like Arinigarjuna, the great masters, then you lie down, you can meditate. Right? You can do two things together, have sleep and also meditate. Don't expect it today. Don't expect it now. Right? So we should realize who we are. And later on, of course, with the practice, you'll become expert in this. Okay. The backbone upright and your head tilted forward a little bit. It's not too mandatory. Sometimes there is the gazing in the open space meditation. So there, your head should not be like this, like just gazing in the space like this. And sometimes meditating with total darkness. In dark you meditate, where your eyes are just closed. So these are all different meditation. But we must begin with eyes open, 45 the half open, 45 degrees cast down, and then ignore. Then the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in your mouth. Breathe normally. Keep the teeth and lips in the normal course. Then the right hand on the left hand, that you know, and touching the tips of the thumbs, touching, forming a triangle. Place the two hands in your lap in a restful state. Breathe normally. Don't chase after the breath. Don't control the breath. Okay, this is your body posture. Next, the focal point. There are hundreds of focal points there. Focal point meaning what are you going to meditate on? There are hundreds of objects of the focus. Hundreds, different. And it's not that one is superior over the other. They're all just the same, provided they're all coming from the genuine tradition. So what we do here is a very simple one. Just count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Just count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. This is what we do. So while we count the breath, multitasking. Visualize a tiny white dot, 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, between your nose and upper lip. So this way you focus on the tiny dot. Meanwhile, count the breath. Two things should happen together simultaneously. Okay. And initially you'll find difficult with eyes open, and then the multitasking is quite difficult initially, but don't give up easily. So practice for like 1 week, 2 weeks, and find after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, if you really think that I cannot manage the multitasking, then go for one, either the white dot or the counting the breath. Okay, this is what we should be doing. Then number 3, identify the errors of meditation. This is extremely important. Number 3 and number 4, so important. Many people miss these 2 points. No point. If you miss these 2 points, then no point in meditating. It's just a self-deception and waste of your time. You just sit like this for like 1 hour, 2 hours, and saying that, oh, I do meditation. For how long? And people, the first thing, most of people who are very naive about meditation, what they ask you is that when they start meditating themselves, they'll ask you, are you meditating? If you say yes, how many hours you meditate? This is what they ask. This is a total naivety. It's not about how long you meditate, it's about how qualitatively you meditate. The quality of meditation, that makes the difference, not how long. Okay, so initially we begin with the quality. We focus on the quality, not on the quantity. Just like 21 cycles, which is little over 1 minute. The 21 cycles, and keep a short break, even though it's going so good, but give a short break, so that it'll arouse excitement in your next meditation. In a few seconds, 10 seconds, 50 seconds, you don't get up, just relax for about 10-15 seconds. Again you resume the same 21 cycles. Even though it's so good, just give a short break. Do it like 3 times in the morning or 5 times in the morning. Likewise 3 or 5 times in the evening. If you do it consistently, you will experientially you will realize that it is becoming really stable now. And when it becomes stable, sustain it for minimum for the next 1 week. When it's succeeded for another 1 week with the stability, then you can extend to like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not a short duration, it's a long time, provided you maintain the quality. to maintain the quality for 5 minutes is a great success. And without the quality, even 1 hour is just nothing. It's a waste of your time. But the quality of 5 minutes is a great success. Again, if you succeed this in the 5 minutes of maintaining quality of your meditation without mental excitement and mental laxity, then you can extend to 10 minutes. Likewise, if you succeed, then extend to 15 minutes. This is how you keep extending it. Okay. So identify the errors of meditation. 2 errors. One is mental sinking, technically known as mental laxity, mental heaviness, mental sinking, lethargy, and mental laxity. This is one error. And the other error is overactivity of the mind, where the mind starts getting distracted or excited with things, pulled by the different objects. These 2 are the major obstacles to your meditation. Should any of these 2 things happen, go for number 4. Applying the remedies to overcome the errors. What remedies? 2. Introspection and mindfulness. So here comes the mindfulness. And that also should be distinguished from the introspection. Introspection and mindfulness, these 2 are different. Oftentimes people mix up 2 things. Just say that mindfulness meditation. There are 2 things there. Introspection, mindfulness. What is introspection? Introspection is to just once in a while just keep an eye on your own mind to see whether your mind is meditating or it is distracted or it is in a relaxed state. Should you see that with the help of introspection, if you see that your mind is distracted or in a relaxed state, then apply the mindfulness. Mindfulness is like the rope. Bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Okay, this is the remedies. And then for further finer details of the remedy, that depends on you. How specialized you are in your meditation. How serious are you in your meditation? If you're very serious in your meditation, you want to cultivate a great deal of stability to your mind, then you need the specialization in even with the object. So here we talk about the white dot here. Sometimes it can move here. Sometimes it can move at the navel and so forth, depending on your situation. For somebody who is very specialized, who is specializing in this meditation, then even the remedies, they are very fine. The fine-tuning remedies are required there. For this, you need to consult your teachers. Are you good? Meditation. When you're by yourself, don't do it 5 minutes until you have been meditating for so long. If you're a beginner, do just 201 cycles. 201 cycles, keep a short break, and then 201 cycles, keep a short break, and 200 cycles. 200 cycles is like 1.5, little over 1 minute. But in group, we can do like 5 minutes, because in group psychologically, you know that there are people around me, I cannot fall asleep. You know that, okay, other people, they're doing too good, and if I get distracted, so there's a great the sense of alertness is automatically created because of the environment. When you're by yourself, okay, if I'm relaxed, it's fine. Then there's a tendency for you to go and relax or excited. It's more when you're by yourself. Okay, 5 minutes. Next, renunciation on the basis of the 4 seals. Are you ready? This is going to be analytical meditation where we follow the instructions and just follow the instructions and see if you can invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Renunciation is to renounce your miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of the miseries, the Buddha identified as the 4 misconceptions. The 4 misconceptions are viewing impermanent phenomena as permanent, viewing suffering nature as happiness, viewing impure things as pure, viewing selfless phenomena, selfless nature as that of with selfhood. The first, all composite things are impermanent. In our life, we have the experience of our near and dear ones in the past, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Many of them have left the world. This is reality. And every now and then we hear about somebody having cancer, 3rd stage cancer, 4th stage cancer, and so forth. And it's not that these people, they are unfortunate, but we can be the next person, we never know. And in fact, to think of on a large scale, 200 years ago, there must be like 5 billion human beings on this earth, 4 billion human beings on this earth. And where all these people, they're all gone, not even a single person is left today. And there are many places referred to as haunted villages, haunted cities, haunted towns. All the people gone. And 200 years in the future from now, guaranteed the 8 billion human beings who exist today will not be seen. Not even a single person will be left then. Whether your plans are accomplished or not accomplished, nobody will be left. Along with the plans, everyone will be gone. This is the meaning of impermanence. All composite things impermanent. And this impermanence is marked by the changes that happen year by year, month by month, week by week, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, millisecond by millisecond, nanosecond by nanosecond, which means that all what is a composite phenomena should necessarily go through this extreme fine momentariness. If you look at this, we see that it's very scary to see things. Your body is moving at such a fast pace. At such a fast pace, the whole environment, the whole world is moving at such a fast pace. No composite phenomena, nothing of the composite phenomena remains static. So where are these composite phenomena going towards if it moves so fast? Like you being in the railway station, somebody picks you up and throws you in a very fast moving train. What do you feel? Very scared. Faster the train moves, more the fear we have. Why? We don't know where this train is taking you. And who decides where the train is taking you? Train driver. If the train driver is under the control of the terrorists, no doubt it will take you to the slaughterhouse. In our case, that train driver is the mind and is under the dictate, under control of this self-grasping ignorance, complemented by self-centered attitude. So as long as the mind is under the dictate of these 2 demons, these 2 contaminations will never be free. It will only end up into the slaughterhouse of the miseries, sickness, aging, death, tension, and so forth. It will only take us to miseries. In fact, one moment of misery is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of joys, merriments, celebrations, birthday parties, and so forth. We all have that experience. We have lost near and dear ones. So painful. Yes, this is the meaning of all contaminated things of suffering. What is contaminated? Contaminated by the self-grasping ignorance, afflictions, and the offshoots such as contaminated karmas will only end up in miseries. And when will these stop? They will never stop on their own unless we put effort. What kind of effort is required? So check the root of these miseries. The Buddha identified the root of these miseries as contaminated, the root of the miseries as the ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. So how to get rid of this self-grasping ignorance? Ignorance, by the definition, is the distorted mind, the mind which distorts reality. And what is this wisdom? This wisdom is by definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. So, what is this reality? This reality is what the Buddha indicated as third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Okay, let's quickly meditate on emptiness. It's going to be guided. Of course, it's going to be a very basic meditation. And this does not entail the full-fledged emptiness, but those of us, we are very fortunate to be doing this meditation. From this, we should get a clue that if I'm able to refine this meditation, I'll be able to have my fears dissolved completely. For that, we need more extensive studies, more extensive learning, and meditation. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. What is your body doing? My body is in meditative posture. How does this person who you identify as I, how does this person appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is projecting the self? Or the self is so solidly there, so objectified there, nothing to do with the mind? Of course, in the second way, so solidified, so objectified. And because of this, that I have to defend the self. I fight, I feel cold, I feel hot, I feel sad. All these emotions arise related to the self, which appears so object real there. This belief that the self exists so object real there, this is self-grasping ignorance. This is the root of all the miseries. How can I know that this is ignorance, this perception? How can we know that it doesn't tell you the reality? Okay, if this self does exist objectively, the way it appears to us, remember what Arinigarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If you see somebody in the water from distance, how do you evaluate whether the person is in water or what you see the water, what he sees water is actually a mirage? How do you know this? You have to go closer towards that from where the water appears. Okay, likewise, if this person were to exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object. Going closer to the object, this analysis is known as ultimate analysis. Employing this ultimate analysis by going closer to the object, whatever is not the self, we just ignore because we're interested to look for the objective existence self. Going closer to the object, we see the thin layer of the skin, which is not the self. Behind that, the fatty tissues. That's also not the self. Behind that, the muscles, cartilages, the bone, whole skeleton is there. The heart, the lungs, the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, the intestine, stomach, spleen, and so forth. None of these solid parts is the self. This solid parts constitute the element of earth. Element of earth is not the self. Next, the element of water, the 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Element of fire, 2,500 joules of energy that your body has, which element of fire, that is also not me. Keep that aside. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is also not me. Get that aside. The space in your body. 99.99% of your body is the space. I'm a solid person. The space vacuum in nature. If the space is also not me, what is left now? The consciousness or the mind is left. I'm a male. I'm a female. But people cannot, the mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. So this body, this mind is also not the self. And people can see me. People cannot see my mind. So it's very clear that the mind is also not self. Okay, now what are you seeing? I'm just seeing the 6 elements coming too close to self. I only see the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is to be identified as intrinsically one with the self? None, that's for sure. Okay, if the self does not exist as intrinsically one with the 6 elements, then if it does exist objectively, it must exist objectively as one different from these 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what do you find there as a self? Nothing is there to be found as a self there. Which clearly tells us that self is not objectively different from the 6 elements also. Okay, now you have come too close towards the self. Now, where is the self from the object? Where is the head? Now 6 elements is the self, no different from 6 elements is self. Where is the self? It's nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while, in this non-affirming negative. Stay in this experience. Okay, that's amazing practice. What's the benefit of this meditation? Yes, just as there's through the ultimate analysis, this self dissolves. Likewise, all the miseries will dissolve. Sickness, aging, tension, anxiety, anguish, the fear of losing near and dear ones. All these miseries, all these sorrows will dissolve in the experience of this emptiness. This is the meaning of transcendence of sorrow. The moment these sorrows dissolve in the experience of emptiness, instantly your mind will be, these sorrows will be replaced by absolute peace. This is total freedom from samsara. This is the meaning of the 4th seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. And this is the most refined understanding of renunciation. In a loose sense, we describe renunciation as freedom from miseries. It's a very simple way of putting it, but in the more sophisticated, in a refined presentation of what renunciation is the aspiration to experience this emptiness where all your miseries dissolve. This is what Ari Nagarjuna taught us. In Muddhammadhyama Karika, Arjuna said, in dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, this meaning, this peace. In experience of emptiness, all the miseries dissolve, you experience the utter peace, which is freed of elaborations of true existence. So this is the final understanding of what nirvana is. This is the final understanding of what renunciation is, aspiring to attain this liberation in experience with emptiness. Okay, slowly come out of this practice, come out of this renunciation feeling before we switch to the bodhicitta. Okay, so since we the running short of time, we'll do only the first 2 immeasurables. Ready? Immeasurable loving kindness. We'll follow. This is again an analytical meditation. We just try to invoke the experiences, or it can be very superficial. It doesn't matter. And this is the only way how we improve. We all have the Buddha nature. We can improve, but we have to start from the superficiality. Simply because it's superficial doesn't mean that you have to stop it. Like it is like practicing music, practicing the piano, practicing the keyboard. You have to just mimic your teacher. And there's no music initially. So just keeping doing it, keeping this superficial practice, eventually become real. This is how we practice the bodhicitta. Ready? Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness and the unconditional love of bodhicitta. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, their intense happiness and proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassion, omniscient minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies and beings of yours instills in all happiness and it causes happiness within you and all dear mother sentient beings. You witnessing such a miracle is happening towards you, all the dear mother sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering primarily consists of self-grasping ignorance, complemented by the self-centered attitude, giving rise to the offshoots such as gross afflictions and the contaminated karmas. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassion, omniscient minds to set forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies makes yours, washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries. And you witness such a miracle is happening towards all the dear mother sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscore all the 4 immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all dear mother sentient beings. Just abide in the experience of the unconditional love towards beings for a while. And imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with so much love and affection. And the beings, all the beings, they feel themselves so special in the eyes. With this mind, with folded hands, let us make the bodhicitta commitment 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. abide in this most beautiful mind of the bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in this whole universe. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting with the heart. Okay, that's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. But no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil will come out. So how come that? What makes you think that you can become a Buddha? Yes, I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm more like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing of which the Buddhahood will come out. I have the Buddha nature within me. Okay, how come that you did not become Buddha since time immemorial till now? Yes, that's very true. It's all because that thus far I've been trusting these two demons, trusting the self-grasping, the self-centered attitude as my best of my friends. Today I'm disillusioned, realizing that these two are the demons, these two are the contaminations which only attract miseries. Okay, how are we going to exterminate this self-grasping ignorance? How are we going to exterminate this? But it's sort of a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. What is the wisdom of emptiness? Okay, let us quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness which we did as a part of the third seal meditation. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And you know that you are constituted of 6 elements. Scan through your body, scan through yourself to see the element of earth, the solid parts, element of water, element of fire, element of space, element of air, element of consciousness. Okay, so with the ultimate analysis, what do you find there as a self amongst the 6 elements? None of the 6 elements are to be identified as objective to one with the self. No different from the 6 elements. By removing the 6 elements, nothing is left there as intrinsically different from the different to exist as self. Okay, where is this self? Now you have come too close to the object with the help of ultimate analysis. Where is the self now? Nowhere to be seen as a self objectively. Stay in this experience for a while. Slowly transform this, the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness, into a spotless, clean white Vajra, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting at your heart, vertically sitting on the moon disk at your heart. Okay, that's amazing for you. That's amazing. You have the moon, which symbolizes the conventional bodhicitta, to eradicate the self-centered attitude. The Vajra symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of the bodhisattvas, having the capacity to get rid of all the mental defilements, afflictive as well as cognitive obscurations. It's amazing that this guarantees that you are going to become Buddha. But remember that your 2 parents are there, that your children are there, that all your dear mothers and beings are there. They are suffering. Yes, with incredibly great compassion towards all the beings. This great compassion invokes the Vajramuni in the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one set at the heart of your father, one set with each one of your children, your family members, with each one of the beings here in Spain, here in France, with each one of the beings here on this planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. That now all the sentient beings have the share of your Virgin Moon at the hearts. Okay, that's amazing. So kind of you. Also remember that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching us. Why not we invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be our witness, to be the guest to our undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. As a gesture requesting them to be a guest and witness, let us slowly stand up along with all the Dhyana sentient beings to make 3 prostrations to all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Or see if you can sit on your right knees. And in English, it's on page 50, page 50. Okay. Again, although we already explained this the last time twice, I'm explaining this again for the sake of those who join us today. And the first verse which said, "I go for refuge to the Triple Gem." This verse, and you can use as the main practice. Is up to you. But here we are using this as the preliminary part. And so here we are taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow. And for this, we don't have any specific commitment. It's very simple. Anybody who wants to be kind with others, anybody who wants to get away from the miseries, for them, you should not harm others. And anybody who wants to experience the maximum happiness, you should embrace others with love and affection. So, the commitment at the most is, from today onwards, I'll try my best not to harm others, if possible, to benefit others. If this is a commitment that you can make, you are entitled to take this aspiration Bodhisattva vow. But for the actual Bodhisattva vow, which we are not doing here, for the actual Bodhisattva vow, one should be prepared. One should have some experience of bodhicitta, and also there are 18 of the precepts to be observed when you are to take the aspiration, the full-fledged the Bodhisattva vows. So this is just the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. It has a tremendous benefit, yet the commitment is not there. So with this in mind, the first line says, because that this is when you commit to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, it's a very important journey. Because it's a very important journey which we never undertook before, you need a great support. The greatest of the support that you can think of is the Triple Gem. So the first line says, "I go for refuge to the Triple Gem." And then this journey involves the path or the road. This road must be clear of the boulder, tree, fallen trees, and so forth. So if the obstacles are there, then you cannot undertake the journey. So likewise, for the journey of enlightenment, your mind is the road. Your mind must not have this boulder of the negativities, negative karma, very strong negative karmas, very strong afflictions, so forth. How to remove these obstacles is by confessing the negativities. And the second line says, "I confess the negativities individually." Now the road is very clear, but if the car does not have the fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. The car is none other than your own mind. Your mind should have the inner fuel of the virtues, inner fuel of the merit. And how to accumulate so much merit within a short span of time is by rejoicing the virtues of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all the other beings and yourself. So third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear. Your car is enough fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? So the journey is, I'm going to undertake the journey of Buddhahood. I want to go to attain Buddhahood. So the last line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, let's say this 3 times together. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. The next 2 verses, the actual practice, actual ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. We invoke the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. And then the next 2, the 2 verses. The first verse is, how is there anybody who succeeded in becoming Buddha? And if yes, how did they succeed in becoming Buddha? So they become like Buddha Shakyamuni, and all the Buddhas of the past, they become Buddha through 2 factors. The first one, by making very strong the motivation of bodhicitta, wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Then the next one is to materialize this aspiration of the bodhicitta to become Buddha. They actually engage in bodhisattva practices. So the second verse talks about how you are going to follow the footsteps of these past Buddhas by generating a very strong motivation of bodhicitta, and to engage in the bodhisattva practices to actualize to materialize this aspiration of becoming Buddha. Okay, so during the third repetition, the completion of the third repetition, you just feel the joy of having received the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Okay, 3 times together. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I shall too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I shall too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I shall too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, just imagine that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are so happy to see that you made such a courageous commitment. All these many lifetimes, we were only engaged in negativities, harming others, and so forth, never ever engaged in such bodhisattva practices, taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. And today you did it. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so proud of you, so happy about what you did today. Because of this pride and happiness all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas experience, invoke the Vajramuna at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes in the heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, in barrage, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes at the heart of your mother, father, at the heart of each one of your children, each of the sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, the gods and goddesses, spirits in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. This is amazing. This is the greatest meaning of your life, and today you extract this meaning. And this greatest gift that you can possibly think of giving to the sentient beings. And today you gifted this gift to all the dear sentient beings. And of all the offerings, the Buddha very clearly indicated the offering of the compassion. Practice of compassion is the greatest offering to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And today you made it. Today you made this offering to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This is amazing. In this life, you should be feeling proud that you have taken this aspiration bodhisattva vow. This is a real source of joy. This is a real meaning of your life, and today you extracted this meaning. And all this happens because of the kindness of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a measure of gesture of thanking them, let's slowly stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, page 51 in English. Okay, in this life we are very fortunate that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is with us on this planet Earth. We have all these great teachers with us, and we have Kalachakra Center where we could come together and do this practice together. We are very fortunate. But what about next life? This question. What about next life? For next life, we don't know we're going to meet with the same teaching. So, yes, of course, if you create the conditions, causing conditions, it will happen. So what kind of conditions? One, we have to practice well. Other thing, we have to include it in the form of very powerful prayers. So the verse that we're going to read here is a prayer to be connected with these 2 teachings in future lifetimes. We'll say these 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should I be praised in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied trace. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. As the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is a great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the channel of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of the all protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, we'll dedicate the merits that's gathered for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. Also, let us pray that all the great teachers in the monastic universities of Ganden, Sera, Debong, from the Chinese tradition, from the Theravada tradition, from all the traditions of Tibetan, Sakya, Kaiku, Nyingma, Gelug, may all live long and that their wishes will be fulfilled spontaneously. And also let us pray that all these learning centers, big monastic universities, like the Mount Meru, like the Mount Everest, from which all the stream of the Dharma flows, let us pray that these learning centers, they thrive in the activities of study, reflection, meditation, for all these monastics, the practitioners, that they have the good health, and the Dhamma, the practices flourish. Let us pray that all the centers like Kalachakra Center, they also thrive in the activities to be of service in rendering Dharma to all the beings. And the volunteers of all these centers may have long life, good health, and they whatever practice they did, whatever the Dharma practice they do, be very efficient, that they attain enlightenment as soon as possible. So, and may all the beings who died to COVID-19 and who died otherwise as well, may they take favorable birth to meet with the Dhamma of bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness, and become the beacon of hope, beacon of light, beacon of Dhamma for all the dear sentient beings, to take them towards the ultimate happiness, ultimate enlightenment. Okay, with this mind, and also let us pray that all these unnecessary conflicts, the international conflicts, the conflicts on the borders, wars, may they stop, and all these people who are involved with these, who orchestrated these wars, conflicts, may they actually find peace in the mind, and may they gain the sanity of the mind, that all the devilish thoughts stop, they become kind, and then the world will once again find peace and harmony. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdomized blind with ignorance. Teata Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasam Gade Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha